Hello.
Hello, everyone. I think we're live. Lisa and I were just chatting about genres that we're in the mood to read, and both of us said that, like, over the course of this year, we have not really been in the mood to read a lot of historical romance. And I think for me, part of that is like, with the exception of like The Duke Gets Even, which came out in January, like, I have not been excited about a historical romance release this year, really.
I think there's somebody that came into my Instagram like messages and she just DM'd me and she was talking about how she feels that Avon has published less historical romance this year than prior years. And then I thought about it. I'm like, that's actually so true because I think they only publish around like 2 books a month now for historical romance. And that's so little. And there's less hype about it. And that makes us really sad. So I think that's one of the main reasons.
Yeah, I think that like historical romance is not what like the book talk girlies enjoy. So they're not the books that are getting hyped up or going viral, like seriously viral.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's why also like Avon is not investing as much money
Yeah.
into publishing the historicals.
And
Hello, happy holidays.
happy holidays. And yeah, no, and I think they're investing a lot more money in contemporary romances for sure, like Tessa Bailey, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mhm.
They want to make it go viral, but it sucks. Hopefully, like they revamp the system and they have more historical romances. I also think like their author like list is so short. Like they only wait for the same 8 authors to kind of come up with new ideas. It's always like the same people who are publishing with Avon. I feel like they need to expand their reach and get more authors in order to keep publishing more historical romances.
Yeah, and I think it also doesn't help that we have not seen a new release from either Lisa Kleypas or Tessa Dare
Yeah.
in the last now like 2-ish
Mhm.
years. Because I think Lisa Kleypas's last release was 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
probably
then,
something from way back.
yeah, and then like radio silence from her. Like nobody has heard anything. I know she's not big on social media anyway, but
Lisa
like,
Kleypas got a lot of hate, right, from TikTok because she wrote like you didn't know it was
no, I'm not on TikTok.
I think it was Jessica and Lacey who told me about it, but I think it was mostly Jessica and like maybe Samantha from Books with Sam, and then afterward Books with Samantha. Um, but somebody told me that Lisa Kleypas got so much hate for some of her books because it included the word gypsy. So that's why they had to rewrite and republish so that it does not include the word gypsy anymore. And that's why the audiobooks are all new and they're all coming out and being re-released because of that
Oh,
term that was used.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that like this was years ago at this point, but they had revamped Mine Till Midnight. Um Definitely more than like this was like years ago because
Yeah.
now like if you listen to the audiobook is different than like I think unless they revamped the ebook very recently. When I read the book a year or two ago,
Yeah.
the ebook was still the original, so it did have words like gypsy and other derogatory terms for Romany people, whereas the audiobook had all that taken out. And like the audiobook was like weirdly edited. They completely took out a sex scene, and
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I'm like, that there's literally no point. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird.
So then I think and then because she got so much hate, she was like she wanted to focus actually more on contemporary. Like I think she's working on contemporary romance right now, Lisa Kleypas. I think that's what I heard. Last I
Oh,
heard, she was working, yeah, because she had that one trilogy that she wrote with the Lake House or whatever. So I think she wants to work more on that. So
and I do remember like, and people were upset about this. I'm even like a bit annoyed about it for sure. That like they edited It Happened One Autumn. They've been editing like some of her like older books, but I just think it's like so dumb. Basically, they edited I think the first sex scene in It Happened One Autumn, like she's tipsy
mm,
from eating like fermented pears. And so I don't know. I guess people complained, and there's a new edition that scene, I guess, is just completely taken out. I don't know. And then they have a new audiobook that I guess also has that completely taken out. So I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, I understand, especially for like new and like future releases, not having like dubious consent, not having, unless it's a dark romance, right?
Yeah.
Well, not having like offensive things, but like things like that, like, really? Like, that's what you're editing out of books? Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm just so confused.
Yeah. But you know, Avon's not publishing as much, but there's other publishers that are still, I think, going really strong or starting to make their mark. And I think like Entangled Publishing is doing a good job at it. But the thing that pisses me off with Entangled Publishing is that it's so weird. They'll publish one book, physical copy, mass paperback, you can buy it in stores. The next book in the series will be ebook only. And then the third book will be mass paperback. It's so weird. Like
Do
I
you have
was
a specific example? Like a
Lydia Drake. Remember how you hated you didn't
Oh,
read the
yeah.
first book? So I was like intrigued, right? And then so the third book, I thought it was the second book in the series. So I waited a whole ass year. And the third book was going to be released this year in December. It's released, I think. And I was like, cool, sweet. This is the second book in the series. I go on Goodreads. It's the third book in the series. The second book has already been released like half a year ago. And it's only on ebook format. And I was like so confused. And if it's not ebook format, they'll do like the weird like indie publish Entangled version where it's like a full paperback version and it's like $23 Canadian versus like the $13 mass paperback version. It's so weird. I don't know. They need to get their publishing in order.
Yeah, it's very weird. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I want no new books, not revised books.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
revising them in like weird ways, or like what we've
Mhm.
also seen with like Lisa Kleypas's books is coming out with like terrible new covers. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
Or combining them so that they can be cheaper. So it's like a thick book with two books inside. I got that from St. Lawrence
Oh,
Press one time and I was like so confused.
right,
Yeah.
right. We're making very weird decisions right
I
now.
know. I know.
And when it comes to historical romances,
Yeah.
for sure. And it does make me sad, like that's not where the money's going. And I do think also part of that is like we did see um a lot of like new readers in the genre when like season 1 of Bridgerton came
Yeah.
out. And then season 2, I don't really remember there being like a huge resurgence or anything
Yeah.
of reading historical. Like I definitely, and I think a lot of us like came out with content
Mhm.
you know, coinciding with the release of that second season. I didn't see like anything when Queen Charlotte came out, like nothing. And then because it's taken so long for season 3 to come out, I just don't know that we'll ever see that like love and that resurgence and
Yeah.
that excitement about historical romance like we did when season 1 came out.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, I think, like, they're more focusing on watching the TV show because I know, like, Netflix released their viewership numbers and, like, what made the top 10 or, like, whatever, and Queen Charlotte was one of them. Like, it had a lot of viewers, but I don't feel that, like, historical romance love because when I go into a bookstore, I don't see it on, like, a book talk trending table, you know, like, where they put the sign up and it's all the book talk trending books. And they're not displaying, like, the new historical romances in the storefront like they did when Bridgerton came out, and they're like,
Right.
"Fans of Bridgerton, read these series," and they're, like, you know, introducing other famous historical romances.
I had my friends send me the OG setting of It Happened One Autumn. They moved from chapter 16 to add on in chapter 22. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Interesting.
I just like don't understand. I like these decisions just seem kind of random and I don't know. I really wish the genre in terms of main. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But it's not what the TikTok girlies are into right now. It's you know all about fantasy romance, which is why we now have a completely
Mhm.
separate category for it on the Goodreads Choice Awards, which we could discuss that forever and ever.
Yes.
How shitty those awards are,
Yeah.
but you know, like obviously, like you know that hype is so huge that like they had to create a completely separate category for it. And I love fantasy romance. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but it's just it just seems like what is going viral is not like the like super romantic books. It's
Mhm.
just like spicy fantasy romance. Like I don't
Is
know.
like Fourth Wing, because Fourth Wing won, right? For romanticy.
Mhm.
Is it spicy? Is it super spicy?
I guess I have not read it yet.
I
I
haven't read it either.
plan to, but I have not read it yet. But it's books like that that are getting all the hype, and understandably so. Sarah J. Maas's books
Yeah.
go viral on TikTok, but I'm just like so not on TikTok. So like all I know is like what I see on Bookstagram.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I don't watch book talk either. I just watch TikToks. I watch funny TikToks. Okay, guys? I watch it for the shit memes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I agree that like Elsie Silver like brought
Mm,
back Small Town Cowboy for like a hot second, but I feel like ever since Reckless came out, which was book 4 of that series, Hopeless is the last book. But I feel like there hasn't been nearly as much hype about that book. But
I
ever
think
since like Heartless and Reckless came out, that was like super, super popular.
But I think there was like other new hyped authors that were born from the LC Silver phase, which is like the Lila. I forgot her last name. Remember the
Oh, Lila
yeah,
Sage, I think.
yeah, Lila Sage, Done and Dusted. I really enjoyed that one actually. The second one's coming out next year, and then there's another one that's indie published, Rein Me In, and it's by something else, but it's a plus size heroine, and
Oh, I want to read that one, Rein Me In.
yeah, Rein Me In. Yeah, it was good too. I liked it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that I agree that we're just cycling through so
Yeah.
fast, like on Book Talk, and it's become so much about just the tropes and
Mm,
the spice level.
mhm,
I want like Crystal and Jessen have put out some really great discussion videos on this kind of topic. And I agree, like I want the romance. I am reading romance for romance. Like,
mhm,
yeah, spicy scenes, they're like Crystal described it as like kind of like seasoning.
mhm,
When you're cooking food, they're like seasoning. They definitely add a lot to the story, but like when it's only about that or like that's all you care about,
mhm,
well, although I'm not going to shame anybody. Like if you just
mm,
want to read spicy books, read your spicy books all day
mhm.
long, you know. I mean, I I read like novellas. Clearly, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
No,
not
no,
always
me
out.
too. I
I'm not
got 2
always
moods.
looking
I got
for,
multiple moods when it comes to reading, but, like,
yeah,
I think, like, as an okay, so from Book Talk, there has been this new, like, readers have been born. Like, there's been this new generation of people who haven't found reading to be fun, but because they found Book Talk on their feed, they grew interested in reading.
yeah,
And then speaking from my perspective and like where I grew up as a reader, when I first started reading romance, the most like, outlandish thing possible, the spiciest things was the most interesting to me because I've never seen it before. This is new to me. But then as a romance reader for like a decade and more now, it's old because like every single book has that same seasoning. So we do it for what's different now. Like what's standing this book apart from a different romance and like what else is in the book that makes it stand apart. So I think that's like it's just two conflicting different types of reader groups.
absolutely. No, that's a really good point because I think we all went through that when we first discovered romance. It was just something so exciting, like the
Yeah.
spicy scenes, or like because I remember when I was first getting into romance, I was also getting into erotica. I don't really read erotica
Yeah.
anymore, but like good quality erotica, like I'm thinking Tiffany Rice,
Mhm.
like that's amazing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And somebody just commented this. It's like, yeah, there are only a lot of authors are just, and I don't blame them for this, but a lot of authors I feel like are just trying to go viral, or they're
Mhm.
just trying to,
Oh, yeah.
cater to the spicy book talk.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, and it's, like, so obvious when you read the book, and it's, like, literally the same like, kind of stuff that you see on Pinterest or, like, TikTok where it's
yeah.
like, "Touch her and you'll die." Like, they'll literally put that in the book, and I'm like, "Okay," like, fuck, like, you know?
Right, right, and I'm worried sweepingly romantic books are out of style. They kind of are, but they're out there. They are absolutely out there. Like I know like Crystal and Jessen like always like make a point of recommending those books. And I, over the past few months, have made a point of like finding those books and recommending them to my
What are sweepingly
viewers.
romantic books, though? Like, what does that mean?
I think of just like it is about the romance.
Okay.
It is, now, these books could still have spicy scenes in them, but like it really is about the romance, and like you're like swooning, you have butterflies in your stomach. Like I recently read Holiday by Gaslight by Mimi Matthews.
Maybe
And
oh.
that is an example of, it's a Christmas historical romance
Mhm.
novella. That is an example of a book that is sweepingly romantic. Like I truly had butterflies in my stomach, and
Mhm.
I have not read a lot of romances recently where that's been the case.
Mhm.
But it's just like the yearning, the longing. I feel like
Mhm.
that makes something very romantic. I think like touches of the hand and like just a kiss being everything. Like
Mhm.
things like that make me think that like something is like very sweepingly
Oh,
romantic.
okay. I get what you're saying, because this isn't historical romance, but like, have you read 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston?
I have not.
Okay, but there's like a scene in it, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but like he leans into her and then just says, "Hi, Lemon," and it's like her nickname, like his nickname for her. It made me squeal. I was like, this is one of my favorite books of this year. Like
And you
from
know
that
what?
one line.
Yeah, you know what
Mhm.
else serves that is totally YA romance. That's why I still love YA
Wait,
because
7 Year Slip is not YA. Oh, but you're
oh, no,
talking
no, no.
about in general YA. Okay.
I'm just saying in general. Because like
Yeah.
right now, I really only just started Once Upon a Broken Heart
Mhm.
by Stephanie Garber, but I can
Mhm.
tell that there's gonna be elements of that because these are
Mhm.
not adult books. These are not gonna be spicy by any means. I also got those vibes from I read Divine Rivals by
Oh,
Rebecca
yeah, I heard about that.
Ross
Yeah.
recently, and like that book is so romantic, and like they're writing
Ooh.
letters back and forth, and like they like just the emotional connection, and I mean like that's what I get from like good YA romance,
Yeah.
you know for sure. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Because otherwise, like, why are we here? If I don't care about the characters, then I'm gonna like just be bored during like a steamy scene. Yes.
In the magic.
And the magic. A lot of Lisa Kleypas's to me, like, are very, very romantic books. Um, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It is that's what it becomes, and sometimes booktube can seem like that as well, but it's really only because like creators also watch like their
Yeah.
friends' content, and so like we get excited about the same books. It happens. Like it's bound to happen, but I think with like book talk it's just like that on like a higher level,
Mhm.
but
I recently this is gonna sound so freaking stupid, because like normal people have been doing this for a long time, but and like no, I mean, okay, so basically what I started doing is actually paying attention to Goodreads ratings, and like anything. I know you're like looking at me like, wait, what? Like anything. Okay, so I used to read anything. Okay, like I didn't care about the ratings because I knew that I was like always the oddball out. Like I would just
yeah.
always read a book and I love it, and then everybody in the world hates it. But then it started failing on me this year, where I was just reading random books, and then there were always like mediocre reads that matched the rating and my feelings on Goodreads. So I recently started, actually doing my research before starting a book to avoid like a reading slump, and it's worked wonders for me. But I still find those odd books that get like a 2.7 and I'm rating it like a 4 because I just end up loving it. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's what I'm just saying. Like I guess like that's how I do my research when it comes to finding books to read, and I don't get easily influenced anymore by social media. I just keep them in my
Yeah.
radar.
Especially because, like you said, you've been reading romance for so long. I think you've been reading romance like a lot longer than I have. Like, I definitely read romantic stories when I was like in college and stuff,
Mhm.
but like I wasn't reading like true romance until I started.
Yeah. Yeah, you told me about that. You started like later, right? In your 20s?
Yeah, like so I started BookTube. Actually, tomorrow is my 5th anniversary on BookTube.
Damn,
Yeah.
December 31st.
Yeah, December 31st. It was December 31st, 2018. And I just really, really wanted to release like my favorite books of the year. I was so, so, so excited because that was the year that I got back into reading was
Mhm.
2018 after grad school. And so, yeah, I'm just like, it was just me sitting in my bedroom raving about like my top 10 favorite books
Yeah,
of the
that's how it
year.
starts, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do to celebrate is release my annual bloopers video. I'll probably just edit that tonight and release it. But
I love that you keep your bloopers.
oh yeah, yeah, it's so goofy, but it entertains me. Honestly, I
Yeah.
think it's so funny.
Yeah, no, same. Like, I look at weird ass selfies of me all the time.
Yes, long form is better. It truly is. You'll have to tell me which T.L. Swan book. I've never read any of her
I
books.
haven't read, but their ratings are always so good, and so she has a loyal fan base because every book that she releases has like 5,000 to 10,000 ratings. It's insane.
Mhm.
Consistent too.
I mean, this is absolutely fair. And that's why, like, first of all, I do not judge people on like what you enjoy, what you read, what you gravitate towards. But there are like, and I used to kind of feel this way too, but there are some books and some authors that I don't know what magic they weave that like
Mhm.
I truly don't care if there is no steam because the romance is so well written and I'm just swooning. So like it just depends on the author for me. Most of the time I would like at least like one steamy scene, like something,
Yeah. Mhm.
but sometimes because like Mimi Matthews is an example of someone that I'm pretty sure she doesn't have any steamy scenes in any of her books. Um, but I loved Holiday by Gaslight anyway because the romance was so
Have
well
you read her other historical romances? Like,
done. No,
okay, because I have them, but I never read them. But now that you're raving about Mimi Matthews, maybe I should go give it a try and see if I like them.
yeah.
And then the books that don't have steamy scenes in them, sometimes I don't even realize that it's a closed door romance until the scene ends. And then I'm like, oh, whatever, like we're moving on to something else.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Especially when it comes, yeah. And that's how I know that's how Crystal feels, especially too. Like, if you guys don't already follow her, like, I would highly recommend her channel just because, like, I feel like her taste is like so different from like what goes viral. But I really enjoy her content. Sometimes it takes longer to get to the steam, but the payoff is so good. Some reviewers want high steam right away, and that's not. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I totally agree. Oh, I need to read her YA.
I have it, never read it yet.
Okay. I mean, I've enjoyed her adult novels. I really love her Brown
Slowly Brown.
Sisters
Yeah.
books, but yeah. I mostly read shorter books, so I guess I never true. Yeah. Mhm. And I guess like we're like 23 minutes in. We have not brought up the book.
Yeah.
But,
We did a
like,
reverse. Yeah. We usually talk about the book first and then talk about random ass like romance topics, and now we're doing the reverse.
now we're doing right. We're doing the reverse. But I did want to bring up our book of this month was The Duke Deal by Valerie Bowman. And if any of you have not read the book, you can find the audio and the ebook on Hoopla, and probably on Libby as well if you have those apps. But yeah, it was like a 5-hour audiobook, and I like flew through it last night.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really good time with it. I really enjoyed it. What did you think of it?
I absolutely loved it. Like
Good.
yeah, like it was okay. So a little story about this one is that I started it maybe like 2 months ago, but then I realized I was going to be super angsty because it's a second chance romance involving a married couple who kind of separated shortly after they got married. And then I thought I was going to be super angsty. So then I put it down and then I suggested it again for this month's book club pick. And I'm so glad I did. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like really done well. It's really short, but I felt like I didn't feel rushed. Like it felt like it had good pacing, it had good dialogue between the two characters. We got a resolution towards the end, and I got to feel the emotions from both characters, which I really enjoyed. And all to say, I downloaded the 3 books after this first book very quickly through Libby. So I'm really excited to continue the series. And I
Yeah,
give it a 4.5 out of 5.
cool. Yeah, I think it's for me. It's like between like a 4.5 and a 5 star.
Ah,
I know we're in agreement.
Wait, have you read her other indie romances, like The Footman and I?
The
You
only
have,
other book by her that I have read was The Footman and I.
yeah,
Book one of that's another series. It's a completely different
yeah,
series.
that's another series.
But what I loved about this book, first of all, I think it's a great Christmas historical romance. I love the premise that this grandpa is ill.
Yeah, no.
And like I knew from the start, I was like, I think he's playing a trick. But he just wants his whole family around for Christmastide. And so I love the premise of like they've been estranged for 2 years. So she has to go to Sebastian, her husband, and ask him to join her going to their family's estate for Christmas. And yeah, like I will say the reasoning behind their estrangement was just like a little dumb. Like, I feel like if they would have had one conversation, it would have been fixed. However, Victoria, I think was the heroine's name.
Yeah,
She's very stubborn. Like,
yeah,
she didn't want to listen. She didn't want to listen to anybody.
yeah.
So, like, it does still kind of make sense. But I was just like, oh my God, if these people would just like sit in a room and talk,
Yeah. What's the Melissa is the girl that Victoria is the main character? Is named Victoria?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so like, and Melissa is the girl that Victoria thinks that her husband cheated on with.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah.
all it took was literally, I don't know. No. And then her brother knew all along, and her brother never said anything because it's like not my business. But he just watched these two idiots separate themselves and not have a chance of happiness for 2 years. That was a little iffy too. Like, why wouldn't you speak up and say something?
I also thought it was like weird that like, well, I think Sebastian just kind of gave up because it was clear that Victoria was never going to listen. Like he tried to tell her the truth, but if he had just told her he didn't tell her the real reason why he went to Melissa's house. Like I feel like if he would have just completely fessed up, she would have eventually listened maybe, but like I do also understand that she is very stubborn and like so I kind of understand that by the end they had to like literally bring Melissa into the scene and like have her tell the story for real. But
And he's so petty for not just telling her, because he was just like, well, she's not going to believe me anyways. Like, I don't want to deal with her, because like he had his own like past trauma that made him go like, well, if my own wife doesn't trust me, then like who will, kind of thing. And then she was too stubborn to like listen. And even till that scene where Melissa was in the room, she was trying to walk away and she didn't want to listen to it until he's forced her. And he's like, no, you're going to listen to me now. If you didn't listen to me back then, you're listening to me now. And that's when Melissa finally came out with the truth and said that, she was trying to get him to stay as her protector after the marriage.
Yeah. Like I do think the miscommunication was kind of stupid, but
I get it.
I just really enjoyed this. Like I felt like the pacing was great.
Mm-hmm.
I flew through this audiobook last night. Like I did not want to stop listening to it. I think I read it in like one sitting. And I really liked that even though they were estranged, like he was still kind of like flirting with her, like messing with her, like with the like the rules that they came up with for their deal. And like, like I really liked his character. And I liked her character by the end because I really appreciate that she fessed up to her faults to him. Like when she apologized, she really was like, hey, I know I'm very stubborn. Like I didn't listen to you. I don't listen to anybody. Like, and I'm sorry that like I didn't trust you. And that, like she really did take accountability for like her role in their marriage falling apart. And yeah, like I really enjoyed this. I really loved the family. The family is so fun. I like that this is a series that centers around this family because I think that their books are going to be fun as well. Like I'm sure we're going to get like Justin's book and then the twins. I think that's going to be a fun time for sure. So yeah, I just really liked it. I had a fun time.
And I think like there is like this like really angsty scene where she basically realized that she was in the wrong. and then you'll think like that'll be it, you know, you'll think like happily ever after, they'll both agree that they were wrong, and then they'll move on, forgive each other, and then be happy. But Sebastian basically says, you can go now.
I know. I was like, wait, what? He finally finds out the truth, and you're just gonna kick her out, basically?
I know. I felt that was kind of weird because I was like, okay, are you gonna be this petty, like this petty to the point? And then like, but I think it needed to be done so that she can finally step up and like admit that she was wrong. So,
and I love that she was the one to do like a kind of grand gesture.
yeah.
Like she was the one who like climbed up like the like the ladder to like get into his bedroom and like, you know, really, really apologize. And yeah, like they were both definitely like petty and stubborn in their own ways, and like, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I really, really enjoyed it. I also really enjoyed the conversations about what true love is. Like both like the grandpa and the grandma, like they were like dropping bars. Like they were like dropping some like very wise words about like what it means to love someone. And I love like what the grandpa said in particular about like, you know, you are choosing to love someone, and it has to be a daily thing. It has to be something that like you really commit to. Love is not just like a possession that you have. You really do have to put work into it. And yeah, I thought that was really great.
That's what I heard from like my friends who've been in relationships too. Like they're like, it's not just all rainbows and sunshine all the time. Like you have to put in the effort. You have to choose, to love someone.
Yeah, like
I think it was No, continue.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I the more marriage and trouble romances that I read, the more I think about and I realize how hard it is to be married. Because once you get past that honeymoon stage, like, you do have to put in the work. You truly do. And then also, if and when kids come into the mix, that is a whole different dynamic that you now have to think about how to be parents, but you still need to put the work in terms of like being a couple as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a lot. It's a lot, guys.
It is. It's not, like you said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not, you know. So that's what I appreciate about the marriage and trouble romances, is that like we're really delving into the issues that these two people are having and why they're having these issues. And I mean, you see in this book that a lot of it is like they're dealing with their own like trauma, like Sebastian believing that he's unlovable because his mom is a bitch, like, you know, and yeah. So I mean, it's a lot. I was also yeah. I love second chance romance as well. Second chance and marriage in trouble like are some of my absolute favorite tropes.
I wish there were more. I think like Anna Hong was the one that said like that was her favorite trope too, marriage in trouble. But there's like not like very few, but like definitely not one of the more popular tropes that we see in romance for marriage in trouble. And she wrote the King of Greed. Yeah. And that's marriage in trouble.
One that I would highly recommend. I do have a couple of historicals that I love that are marriage in troubles, but I recently read Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. That one veers a little bit more towards like just fiction, but it is definitely centering around the marriage between the two main characters in that book. In that book, they're actually divorced at the beginning of the book, but they have two kids together. One of them is like a teenager and one of them is like a preteen. And it's been a few years since they got divorced. And so like at the beginning of the book, we're seeing that like they're like kind of trying to move on from each other, but it's really hurting both of them. Seeing the other like go on dates and you know, all of that. Like that is a fantastic book too, because like you see both the main characters go to therapy separately, and like them like really delving into their own issues and then the issues of their marriage and why the marriage fell apart. And then by the end, like how how do these two get back together? Like Kennedy Ryan, I feel like nobody writes like Kennedy Ryan. And it was just a spectacular exploration of like all of those very complex issues for sure. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Seems like overall you guys enjoyed it, so that's good.
Yeah, it's like good. I'm excited to read the rest of the books in the series, and they're short too. Like they're under 10 hours for audiobooks. I think the longest one I saw was 8 hours. So if
Oh,
you
that's
just like
yeah.
fly by, and it gives me the excuse to buy all of them on Amazon now.
There you go.
Format. That's all I needed.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's not too much for me to say about this one, but I definitely really, really enjoyed it for what it was. And at first, I was a little bit like disappointed that it was a novella because like as we were getting into it, I was like, oh, but I kind of wanted to see like them fall in love and like get married and all of that. But I feel like we explore that enough
Yeah.
throughout the book. We definitely get like flashbacks.
Yeah.
And like, you know, so I think it was enough for sure. Like I'm not mad that it was like a 5-hour audiobook.
Yeah, like I get glimpses of it, and it was like enough to kind of like satisfy that need and to kind of set up the story and the romance.
I've been married forever, and I love second chance books because I know how married people can sometimes be idiots.
Fair. That's fair.
Man, being a human is hard.
I know. What the heck?
And then to like tie yourself to somebody else seemingly, you know, for the rest of your lives.
Oh my god.
Work with that, like that, yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, I think I'll read the rest of the series. The audiobooks are definitely on Hoopla. I'm sure the ebooks are too.
It's ongoing. Like there's more books set to be published.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, cool.
I hope I'm not talking.
I'm pretty sure the next book is going to be about Justin, the brother, I think.
Okay.
Because it's the Marquis move. I think he's a Marquis, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, so that'll be a fun one. Because then at the end of this one, they were like, he's seeking out a young lady? Like, what? What is going on? And I love like the scene. I just love the scenes with the family. Like there was one scene where like they're all saying the same thing at the same time, but like with like different expressions and like different meanings and stuff. That was really funny. And I love, okay, have y'all seen the movie The Proposal?
Yes.
With Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock? Because when I realized that the grandpa was pretending to be ill, it totally made me think of in that movie when Betty White pretends to be dying just to get, you know, Ryan Reynolds' character and like his dad to like bury the hatchet and like to talk. Oh my god, so funny. Oh, you read the whole series. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely. Okay, I also want to check out the rest of the series because I've read The Footman and I. Have you read the rest of that series?
I have, but The Footman and I was my favorite. I think the rest of the books were good, but they were like 3.5 or 3 stars each. But I need to do a reread. I think The Footman and I was just so like good, you know, like it was just so fun. And the rest of the books were just kind of like not as fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave that one 4.5 stars. I really, really enjoyed that book for sure.
Yeah, and I never read any of her traditionally published romance. I think she's more focusing right now on independent published.
Oh, I didn't know that she traditionally published
Yeah, she did it through St. Martin's Press and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
It was never through Avon Books, but she has a couple books that were there, and now they're out of print, I think. That sucks. It's so like long ago since she done it. So
yeah. It might just be easier for her to just independently publish.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you read any other books of hers?
Except for that whole Footman series.
So you read the whole Footman series and then you read this book?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. And then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would check Goodreads, but okay, now it's back up because Goodreads was down for like 2 seconds. So annoying, this website.
Oh, Goodreads, get your shit together. Now, I have like made a New Year's resolution that I think I'm going to switch to Storygraph.
Okay.
In 2024.
Okay.
Because I've heard really good things about it. And I think there's more features.
Okay.
Whereas like Goodreads is just Goodreads and it'll never improve. But
You can definitely, right, like, move your whole Goodreads account into Storygraph, right?
I think. But even if I can't, I'm fine to just have both apps and just have Goodreads for my old stuff and Storygraph for like my new stuff.
There was this one that I did an ad for, but I forgot the name already, but it imported your whole Goodreads profile into it. So that was easy. But then
No, there's Storygraph. I've heard good things. I agree. There is another app that I've heard some people using, and I cannot remember. Oh, yes, you can. Some books might be lost in the transfer, though. I mean, any transfer is good. I mean, like I said, I'm going to keep the Goodreads account just so that I can keep track of like books that I've read in the past.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm
It's
looking
funny
forward
how
to
you said yeah. It's funny how you said that, like, Goodreads will never improve, and then Goodreads, like, updated their view, like, their look this year for the
Did
worse.
that really?
It
It
just
looks the same to me.
like, no, it used to be, like, this whole thing used to be, like, a beta version, but then, like, now they transitioned it to the normal version, but then the app stayed the same forever, and the app is a
Yeah.
piece of shit because,
The
like,
app is a piece of shit. It
it's a
truly
piece
is.
of shit because, like, I don't know, it just sucks. And then, like, like, the buy now feature, it used to be linked up to Amazon, but I don't know why, but they removed it all. So, like, you haven't buy now. Like,
Oh, they removed that?
yeah, like, if you go into the app and you want to buy a book, and then, like, if you click buy now, it doesn't have Amazon in there anymore.
That is really weird.
And doesn't Amazon own Goodreads? Like, I'm so
Yeah,
confused. So,
yeah, they
like,
do.
why would they not do that? But then on the web version, you can buy it now on Amazon. So that was confusing.
Huh. That is weird.
Yeah.
Hmm. There was a book that I just saw. What is this? The Lover by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I read Mexican Gothic by her.
Is this a romance?
Might be. It says it's a short story.
Oh.
I mean, it's called The Lover. I don't know. What is this? Is this a love triangle? What? What is this?
It's been so long since I've read a book
In the
where
it's
it's
like
a
takes
love
place
triangle.
in the woods, and like it says, against reason and decency, she welcomes both men into her life in different ways, as forbidden longings ensnare each of them. An unrelenting winter storm and an evasive on the prowl have everyone on edge and ravenous. What is this? I know that her books are like can be paranormal. Like her books are paranormal.
Mhm.
That is very intriguing. Oh, it's 43 pages. It's a very short novella, so there you go.
Done. Finish the Goodreads challenge. Done. Make it better.
Right.
Yeah, see, it's a piece of shit.
That app, the app especially, I feel like always crashes, and
Mm.
like it's so dumb. It is so dumb.
It
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
update.
in 2024, I'm switching to Storygraph.
Do it.
I'm over it. I'm so over Goodreads. Like, it's also annoying when like, and I don't know if Storygraph is any better about this, but like, it's so annoying when like I'm reading something and it's like not on Goodreads. There's no listing for it on Goodreads, especially like the fan fictions that I read. You know, I'm like, dang it, this is not on Goodreads.
It used to, I think they took away the feature, but like you used to could be able to create it yourself.
And I don't think you can anymore.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think you can anymore. And then you know what's also fucking pissing me off about the new Goodreads web version is that like how back in the day you can select images for different covers of the book. And
Yeah.
then for historical romance, you can check the step backs because people upload the step backs into it. They removed that feature.
Really?
So now you can't see the step backs for these old historical romances. So it sucks.
By the way, this short story I found by Sylvia Moreno Garcia is free to read and listen on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm doing that.
Wow. Right now, after this live.
I have it downloaded. So no, actually right after this, I have to like film videos. I need to film my top 10 books of the year, and then I'm filming a series I want to continue ASAP because I started a lot of series in December, and I'm very excited about continuing on in 2024. So
yeah,
I'm holding myself accountable. I need to film these videos tonight because if I try to film them tomorrow, or on the 1st, people are going to be setting off fireworks and it's going to be super annoying.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's what's happening. But are you doing any like end of the year content?
Have you end of the year content? No, because I haven't posted on YouTube for, like, maybe 2 months now, going on 3. So, the break is still going on break. This is the only time people can see me as a real person talking on
Oh, think
lives.
you'll do, like, your favorite books of the year?
I don't know if I will. I don't know what the future is for me for YouTube and things like that. Like, I think the idea of editing a video frightens me a lot because it just takes so long. It takes, like, an hour total to, like, do, and then you have to film
It's
and
so
talk,
long. It really
and then I
does.
feel kind of, like, out of it now. Oh, thank you. I feel like
Pressure, peer pressure.
I feel out of it now because I stopped talking in front of a recording, like, camera for so long that, like, I ramble for so long in front of the camera, and then I get self-conscious, and then I'm just like, "Oh, I need to re-record, and I do all this garbage," and then I think about how much editing I have to do because I'm talking so much. Um,
Yeah.
so we'll see what happens in 2024. I'm trying to move more into, like, updating on Instagram because it's, like, faster and easier to kind of, like, just do blurb reviews, and
Yeah,
then
you could simply do, like, a graphic of, like, your top books of the year,
yeah.
you know? You can
Yeah,
make it as simple as that.
and I have a lot of physical books, so I could just take pictures of it and call it a day.
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll see what we do. We see what we do. It'll be definitely easier for taxes, reporting that $20 income.
Oh my god, yeah, it's for those of you that don't know, it actually is annoying to
So annoying.
report your, AdSense earnings for your taxes. It's like it counts as royalties, and it's like a whole different process, and it sucks, and we're not making a ton of money.
No, but
So
it just costs us more brain cells to figure it out.
exactly, like, I only have I'm almost at 3K, almost. So I'm not making a lot of money on AdSense, you know, but, like, I gotta report that income, and it sucks, but anyways.
There's a meme that's so funny. It's like, "My biggest fear is, committing tax fraud because I'm a dumbass." That's like me.
Oh, right?
And it's more difficult for me because I get US income from the US for YouTube. So now I have to report it in my Canadian tax return and be
That's
like,
probably much more complicated, yeah.
yeah. And it's like for like what, $200 total this year? Thanks. Like I don't
Yeah.
forgot I received it. Like
Right? Yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't know. But I'm with well, and I took, like, 3 months off of YouTube
ooh,
this year.
twins.
Yeah, like, between, like, April and, like, June, July, maybe into August, like, I really didn't post anything,
Mhm.
and I feel like this year has just been so weird, like,
Yeah.
content-wise, and, like, Jess from Peace Love Books said the same thing that, like, she felt that this year has been so weird in terms of, like, what booktube is doing. Like, what are we doing? What is like, like the content that we're making, I feel like we're like not really sure what direction to go in
Yeah.
terms of what kind of content we want to make.
Mhm.
um for me, I just make the content that I want to watch
Mhm.
at this point.
That's the best way.
Because honestly, if I try to cater to my audience, like, I don't really know. I know that, like, my audience really loves my historical romance content, for
Mhm.
instance, but, like, other than that, I don't really know. And, like, my top books of the year, like, people are gonna watch that. But, like, other than that, I'm just releasing what I want to make and what I want to see, you know?
Maybe okay, you're inspiring me, so maybe I'll do thank you. Oh,
True,
that's
you don't have to edit if you do
yeah,
live
you're
stream.
right. So am I just supposed to listen to an audiobook on live?
Good.
Is that a copyright issue? Like, if I just blast it?
Listen, wait, Tiffany and I have been joking about, like, listening to the audiobook for that Door Romance by
Yeah,
Vera Valentine,
yeah,
like, because the audiobook's, like, 4 hours, and we could listen to it at, like,
yeah,
1.5 to, like, 2 times speed on
yeah.
live, and that'd be, like, a 2-hour live
Oh,
show.
but yeah,
I
but, like, you
low-key
wouldn't
wanna do that.
blast it, right? You would just listen to it in your earbuds, and you're just
I kinda wanna blast it, though.
but if
Like,
you blast it, is that copyright infringement? Because then
like,
everybody's just listening to it for free.
I feel like, yes, but I wouldn't monetize
No,
that video. Like,
yeah.
I'm fine with not monetizing it. you know.
I want to do, you've inspired me. I might do my top books of 2023 because I haven't been on BookTube in so long. So there's a lot of reads I've read that deserve a mention because I think I read a lot of good books. So maybe I'll do it. Um, then what was I going to say? There's something else I wanted to say, but I forgot. Oh well. Yeah, and I love talking to you. You always message me. It's so kind. Thank you for putting up
Yay.
with me. Yeah. A lot of my favorite books, I think, were some of them were historical romance. Like I read Victoria Alexander's Quartet series that's like published like 10 years ago. Loved it. It was random. I just picked it up because I bought it on eBay, you know, like those giant ass lots I always do. So I finally sat down and I read it physically and it was like I finished each book every week. So it took me a whole week to read one book because I was busy. But by the end of the month, I finished all 4 books. It was so good.
You know what I think would be a fun video from you is doing a vlog where you like shop your stash, like you shop
Oh,
your bookshelves. Because like I'm looking at your shelves behind you right now, and I'm like, oh my god, that would be so cool to like.
how do you shop your shelves? Like, what do you
So
do?
like so like looking through your shelves and like maybe randomly picking books, like
Okay.
maybe like that you'll read in the vlog. I've
Oh,
been thinking of doing something like that because I do have quite a few books that I own physically that like I've had on my shelves for like over 2 years at this point.
yeah.
That like I feel like I just need to pick them up.
So do you just like, oh, like this book I haven't touched in a while, and you just read the back of it and go like, yeah, I'll read this, and you put it in your TBR cart?
I feel like you could do that.
Is that what people do?
You could do some people do like that it's completely random.
Oh,
Like you could assign each shelf a number and then like do a number generator and then pick like a random book from that shelf.
okay.
Or you could do like, oh, like this cover's really beautiful. Like maybe I should pick this up. Or just like,
Like a
oh,
book
I've been
club.
thinking of checking out this author.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, something like that. Because I know I've seen Brie from In Love and Words. She did some videos. This was
Yeah.
a while back where like she showed us all of her bookshelves and she got her TBR cart out and
I
she
saw
was just
that.
picking books off her shelves and she was like, you know what? This sounds really good at the moment. Like let's read them, you know.
Yeah. And I don't think you actually necessarily have to read it in the video because that video would take forever.
True. Unless you only picked a couple,
Yeah.
you know. Oh, the historical romance mystery boxes.
Oh yeah. Those are big. I got so many. Yeah.
Yeah, they're at the bookstore deciding what to read by cover or theme or color. So that could be fun.
Dude, yeah. You know, I'm at the point with my shelves that I actually lose books. It sucks. Like it's so stupid. Like
What do
I'm
you mean you lose books? How?
well, you don't know where you put it on the shelf, and then you're looking for it.
Right, but like that could be fun too. Like you're looking through your shelves and then you realize, oh, I haven't seen that book in a while. I thought I lost it. Like
Okay, so yeah, so like I'll listen to the audiobook and then I'm listening to audiobook from Libby and then I'm like I'm pretty sure I have this book on my shelf. I know it and I'm listening to it, but I want to hold it in my hand as I'm like reading it, listening to it, and I'll look for it all over my shelves and I can't find it. And then I convince myself I lost it and then I'll just buy it a second copy.
oh wow, that is
And
next
then
level.
and then I find it right after the second copy arrives and then now I have duplicates. But yeah.
You could do a giveaway.
Usually at that point when I buy like a second copy is only because I know I really, really like that book and I really want the physical. And then that's why I buy the second copy. But I should
Mhm.
stop doing that and stop wasting money. I only done it twice, but like it's twice too many, you know? It's
You
too
know what?
crazy.
Honestly, like I would love a part two of you painting a book's
Oh
edges.
my god. My stupid fucking clamps. I'm swearing so much on this lot. Those clamps that I use still there, guys. I'm 16. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these clamps. I'm
I
gonna
say
sell
do a
this
part
market.
two. Let's try it.
We're in another book.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Dude, I was actually like in Delulu land. You know Delulu? Like being delusional. I was
Mhm.
freaking delusional because I thought I was gonna start an Etsy business when I bought those clamps and that paint. I was like, I have this gift. I know I can do what people do. I can paint these books as just as nice as these Etsy artists I'm
Oh,
seeing.
I see what you're saying. Like doing like painting book edges, like
Yes.
very like artistic, like
I thought I was that type of person. I thought it was just like a uncracked like skill of mine. I just needed the paintbrush, and I knew immediately as my paintbrush touched the book that I fucked up, and that I like, as soon as I touched it, I was like, yeah, I could give up these dreams of being an Etsy owner, like an Etsy store owner selling these sprayed edges. I was like, this ain't it.
Do you think I like vaguely remember from the video, wasn't it something also with like the type of brush that you used or like the type of paint or something?
Yeah.
Like
So everybody commented, not acrylic paint, don't do it. So I picked acrylic paint by accident. Not by accident.
oh,
And
what type of
then
paint do you should you use?
some other paint. I don't know what other paint they were suggesting that you have to do because I think acrylic paint, like the pages get stuck together very quickly. And it's just not good. And
Oh.
then the paint brush came with the cheap paint set. So the paint brush was a wood, like it was like a piece of wood basically, because the brush, the hair on the back of it is just plastic. It sucked. So it's just like not quality good tools. And then the paint sucked because it was old, and the clamps were clamping. That's okay, but the books did
The
not look
clamps
great.
were open. They sure were.
I'm
Wow.
so sad. Anyways, yeah,
Okay, so
maybe
we
I'll
need
get
a
back
part two then. We need a part two. Get the right kind of paint, get the right kind of brushes.
to it. Guys,
Now you can put the clamps to use.
that was such a weird ass video I put out too, and it was
I
like
loved it. I was so entertained. That
my
was
thumbnail was like I ruined my book, and till this day it's still being watched, and people are still commenting. You used the wrong paint. I'm like, yeah, dude, I know.
I mean,
I
you
know.
could
You
turn
don't
off
have to
the
tell me.
comments if you wanted to. You could turn off the comments.
No, no, no. It's fine. Like I love it. And then they're like, people were entertained enough to tell me to try again, and I was just like, all right.
That is so funny. Oh my god! But honestly, you did better than I would have had I tried that.
I
Like
think you should try it.
I am so not an artsy person. I am so like when it comes to visual art, um, I appreciate it, but I so do not know what I'm doing when it comes to anything like that. But I remember there was a point in time where I absolutely considered
Mhm.
painting like all of my books, painting the edges of like
Right?
all of my books,
It's
like
so easy, like
yeah,
in
like
your
a
head.
color to like coordinate with the cover,
Yeah. You
you
know
know.
that book that I painted, I don't think I separated the pages. I think it's still all stuck together.
Are you serious?
I think so. Because you know, like how at the end of those like books, like those videos, they separate page by page. I think I gave up. I was like, all right, see you guys later. And then like
Now I want to go watch
I,
that video. That
I
is
ended the
so
video and I never separated the pages. I don't believe I separated the pages online because I was like, this is still drying and I have to edit this video now. So
that is so
I
funny.
think it's still clamped together, guys. So yeah.
Wow.
No, but I told you I wanted to do like those like stupid like artsy videos while talking about books to keep people entertained. So I bought a coloring book and I was gonna
Oh, that
color.
would be fun.
Yeah, I was gonna color the book as I was talking about books, but then I'm like, ah, I don't know if you've ever tried to do those like desktop videos where like it overviews your
Not
desktop.
easy. It's not because
It's so painful.
I've done something like that where in a vlog
Yeah,
I filmed a clip of me doing something at the desk.
yeah.
And yeah, they're not easy. They're
Like you gotta put your camera like at
you
a
have to
weird
like
angle.
tilt it down
Yeah.
and yeah.
You have to like work around it. And then like you finish the video all hot and sweaty because you angled your body weird and you're just like doing it.
Where ones you bought for the
Ooh, that's
cover.
fun.
Ooh, I feel like you've done that more than I have.
Yeah, that would be the whole shelf.
Like for me, on the one hand, I don't buy as much as I used to, but on the other hand, I've bought a lot recently.
I
But
need to be
like
like you. Can I be as frugal as you? I fucking hate myself nowadays. But continue.
I feel like I own too many books, and I really don't. I
I
like
love your shelves. They're so nice.
thanks.
They're
Yeah,
so cute.
yeah. I do wish I don't have any rooms in this house where I can have a tall shelf like that.
Yeah.
Um, because like well, this room has like windows.
Mhm.
Like I can't
Oh,
be
yeah.
and then like um I have a taller shelf in my guest bedroom, but I really couldn't get a shelf any taller than that, unfortunately, and I wish that I could get. But yeah, I know that's my dream is to have like tall shelves, but I
Yeah.
just can't. I can't make
Yeah.
that work here.
You know, I was like, I just had like a random stupid idea about like selling my books on Facebook Marketplace for a video because I sold a lot of books on Facebook Marketplace, but it was just like sketchy videos of me standing outside on the side of the road with a bag of books with my hood on and being like, that's $20. And then, doing like a drug deal with my books.
For a book. Yeah, there's some books that I definitely need to get rid of that at this point. Like at
Facebook
first I
Marketplace.
considered selling them on eBay, but I
Facebook
was like, at this point, I just want to donate them.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Be better than me, but yeah.
Just because I'm so lazy. I am so lazy. I don't want to have to package books and mail them. Like,
You
you
know
know.
what's so weird though? It's not weird. It's actually very flattering and I appreciate it, but then I feel bad. No, I don't feel bad. But I've met a lot of people on Facebook Marketplace who actually know my channel. So they'll be like, "You're Lisa, right? You're
That
from
is
Women Market."
so weird.
I'm like, wow. And it's because I guess it's because I'm Canadian. And then knowing that I have Canadian viewers, I think that's the weird part. And then I'll see them like I met a lot of viewers at the mall and like I would sell them my books. And then what was the comment that just came?
I'm too lazy to sell as well, so I just put it in a massive bag.
I donated a lot of books too.
I listen. I might just like bring a big old bag to Goodwill and just
Mhm.
call it a day. Like
Yeah.
I'm so lazy, and these books are in very good condition. They're like brand new books
Mhm.
that either like I started the series and I DNF'd the series, so like I'm just gonna get rid of those books, or like they're just books that I know I'll never pick up.
The only reason why I don't donate I donate a lot actually, like all the books I know that I can't sell, I'll donate it, like I don't care. But with that being said, I don't try to donate first because the thrift store that I donate to, they are so profit making. Like they're only geared to make profit. They're not like Goodwill or Salvation Army. They want to make a profit. So as soon as I donate a book, they'll sell it for $7. And I hate that
Yeah, they're making all that profit then.
because that's not making it easier for people to read when
No,
it's
no.
like higher price. So when I sell my books, I sell them for like $2, $3. So it's still cheaper than if you buy it from a thrift store. I don't sell it for like $10. I sell it for like 3, 2, do for 2 for 5 deal. Like I sell it for a loss, but I just don't want to profit that thrift store.
I wish that I had a half price books around me because I know a lot of people that they'll just go sell their books to them.
Mm.
And
Do they buy books easily? Because I heard stories that they're very like finicky with it.
oh, I actually have no idea.
Oh,
But I would feel like the books that I'm selling that are in like new condition, I feel like they would want. But the only half price books that I know of are in other cities. Like I don't think we have like any in my state that I know of.
yeah.
And then yeah, little libraries. There's little libraries like not in my immediate area, but I know that if I were to go into like actual New Orleans,
Mhm.
um, there are free little libraries, but I'd have to go look for them. And I'm wondering if there's like a way to do that. I wonder if there's like a Facebook page or
Is there
like
like a map?
I know like there should be something that like I should be able to find
Yeah, there's a map.
free little
You
libraries.
can download the app and then it'll show you the map of where you can find little free libraries.
Oh,
So
good to know. So I might do that,
I might just go shop around and donate books in the same time and see
right?
what people in my neighborhood are reading.
Right. Yeah, there's an app, like you said. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Do we want to wrap this up now that I'm like
Yes,
we're
because
like
you got your
4:30?
videos.
Yeah, I've got things to. Okay, yeah, you can put your zip code. Cool. I'm gonna do that. So I think that would
Amazing.
be better than maybe even Goodwill. But yeah, so yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up here. No clue what we're reading in January or when the live show is, but honestly, like we can chat about that later
Yeah.
off of the live.
Yeah. And it'll be on my channel in the month of January, possibly when the live show is taking place.
Yes. Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
I hope that you'll have a fun and safe New Year's. I will be holed up in my house reading. I am not going anywhere.
I'll be in my house as well, and I'll be eating 12 grapes underneath my table around midnight so that my dreams can come true next year.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Spanish edition.
That my dreams can come true.
What?
Yeah, we don't know yet. We gotta figure that out. But yeah, I'm about to go film some videos, and then read for the rest of the night. That is, and maybe edit, but who knows? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our live show.
Thank you
I
for
always
coming.
love when we discuss, random romance topics.
Yep.
I
enjoyed
as well as the book. And yeah, the next one will be on Lisa's channel, like we said. And I'll announce both on Instagram and on here when that live show is and what book we'll be reading and all of that. So yeah, hope you'll have a really great New Year's. Bye. Everyone.